Okay, Algebra 1, Lesson 85. This is on stem and leaf plots and then histograms. Okay, so here's what I want you to do first thing, is I'm going to give you 30 scores. I'm going to teach you how to do this. So in your top corner somewhere on your page, you're going to write down 30 scores. Read these to me.
What did you stop at?
Just start over.
Okay. 92, 75, 69, 56, 88, 62, 75, 82, 90, 74, 65.
Okay, did that end? Did it start with a new one?
Yeah.
Okay.
65, 70, 80, 96, 81, 87, 95, 58, 96, 89, 91, 81, 83, 94, 86, 88, 95, 74, 87, 85.
Thank you very much. Okay. This is our chart. Now, when you're working with stem and leaf plots, basically what you're trying to do is come up, let's say I had students that took a math test. These were the score of the 30 students in class, okay? Now, when I'm looking at data, some information of all their test scores, there's got to be a way that I can organize it well and see how my students did. So they've come up with something called the stem and leaf plot, okay? Now, the stem, okay, is always kind of like the first part of the number. So, kind of help me figure out, we have 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, do we have any 50s? 50s. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to have a stem and then a leaf. This is just what they call it. I don't have any idea where they come up with stem and leaf. But anyway, okay, so 50-something, 60-something, 70-something, 80-something, 90-something. Okay, and now you're going to take and put your 50s in order. So I'm going to underline my 50s. 56, 58. That's it. Okay, so now I'm going to put them in order 6 and 8. So they actually, when they are doing this, they go on and just do the first one and then the second one, and then they have to rewrite it over, put them in order. But I like to underline it and then put them in order as I go. So 56, 58. Done with those two. Got it? Now let's do our 60s. 1, 2, 3, 3. Okay? So 69, 62, and 65. So 62, 65, and 69. 62, 65, 69. Okay? It's kind of like just ordering it and making it organized. So now let's do our 70s. Seems like there's a lot of these. 7, 7, 7. Tell me if I missed something, okay? Now, on this one, let's see, we've got 75, 75, 74, 70, and 74. So 70, what comes next? 274, 74, 74, 74, and 275s. Okay? Now, again, the book doesn't put them in order first. They just come up with all of them and then put them in order. But it just seems to make more sense, okay? And then now let's do our 80s. 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80, 80. Okay, lots of 80s. So I see 180. Do you see any more?
No.
Okay.
81.
81.
2 81s.
81. 81 and 81. 82. Any other 82s?
No, 83.
Kind of would be a good idea maybe use a different color so you can see better. 83, 86, 88, 88,
85.
85, 86,
87, 2 87s.
87, 87,
88.
88. Just one of them? 280. Woo! A lot of 80s. Okay? And then 90s that are what's left. So 92, 90, 96, 90, 99. Okay, so I see a 91 and 90, so let's do 90. I see a 91,
92.
94, any 92s? 93s, no.
94.
94,
295.
95, 95,
296.
96, 96. Oh! 89.
89.
89. Okay, that was good that we had them marked out because that helped. Okay, now we've got them all. Okay, this is called a stem and leaf plot. Okay, it kind of helps me realize, okay, most of my students scored in the 80s. We had a few in the 50s, some in the 90s. Just kind of gives you an idea as a teacher how your students are doing. Okay, so this organization is really good. Okay, so that's how they use it. Now, the next thing they want you to do is to then come up with this. You know how we've learned in the past, range, mode, median, and mean. Do you remember those? And you remember all those mean? Okay, once you come up with your stem and leaf plot, it's easy to come up with all of these. Okay? Now, the next thing that they do is they put them in order. They actually write down 56, 58 right here. 56, 58. Okay? They're showing each one 62, 65, 69. Okay, see how they do that? And then they keep going on and on and on, okay? But for the range, do you remember what we do for range? You go your lowest score and your highest score, and that's the range. So our highest score is 96 and our lowest score is 56. So our range is 30. No, 40. 40. All right. Okay. So my answer for range is 40, and I can easily see that by having this stem and leaf. Okay? Mode means most often. Which one is used the most? Well, I have a 75 and a 75. So basically what I'm trying to come up with are the ones that have two of them, or three. I have 2 5s, I have 2 4s on that one. I have 2 7s, 2 8s,
2 5s, 2 6s.
2 5s, 2 6s. Do you see any 3
2
ones?
1s. 2 1s.
2 1s. You see any 3?
No.
Okay. So because we don't have any that have 3s, then 2 is our highest mode. So basically it's all of these. So what you're going to do is go, the mode is 74, 75, 81, 87, 88, 95, 96. Those are the modes. So this one actually has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 modes. Okay? So that just kind of gives you an idea of what the mode is. Now the median, for me, the median is the middle. So it's kind of like you're driving down a highway and usually mountains or something's right here, or even a space that's grass, and they call that the median. So it helps me always remember that it's the middle that we're working with, okay? So median is the middle. So basically you're going to line up your numbers like this and go to the middle number. Now, the first thing you need to realize is how many scores do I have? 30. Okay, so what does that tell you? What does that tell you? Okay. Okay, so to do the median, I went on and wrote all of our scores down at the bottom rather than the top. Okay, so here they are. And there's 2 different methods you can use for the median. I like using what I call the rainbow method. What that means is you start from the very end to the very end, and you can draw a rainbow. Okay, so for example, and then I go to the next one, to the next one, next one, to the next one, next one, to the next one, next one, to the next one. You're just going to keep going back and forth, making a rainbow. That's why it's called the rainbow method. I actually came up with this, so this is not something that you will find in any book. Whoop. Okay, so I don't know if you can see on the video, but what I've come down to is because it's an even amount of numbers, if it was an odd, you would just have one number that it would come down to. But because we have an even amount of numbers, it comes down to 2. And the two that it comes down to is 83 and 85, okay? And so, in order to find the median, means the middle number. So this was my rainbow that I had come down to. So guess what the median is? It's in the middle. It's 84. Let's say you had 83 and 87. Then what would I do to get the middle number? I would add 83 plus 87, get that answer, and divide it by 2. And then that would give me the middle answer. Okay? Just so you know, just in case. Okay, so then that gives us the median. Okay? And then the mean, basically, I'm going to take every single number. It's probably best to do this on a calculator. Add all my scores up, which ends up being, I don't know if they even tell us. Yeah, 2,444 is the total when I add up all the sum of that. And because there are 30 scores, we divide it by 30. So then we come up with the average score, which ends up for this being 81.47. And since it's 4, it's not 5 or above, then I leave the 1 as 1. And so the mean is, you can put 81.47, or you can just put 81. Okay, so most of my students scored an 81, the median was 84, my mode, which ones were most often, and then the range was 40 points. Okay, so the stem and leaf is very helpful in being able to look and see and figure out really. Okay, now let's do another one. Pause it, Isaac. Alright, now I'm going to show you, let's do a few examples. This is example 85-1. It says, Mark went to the driving range to test out his new golf club that his brother Frank bought him for Christmas. He hit 20 balls in a row, and the distances that the balls traveled were measured in yards. And then it tells us what the measurements were. Instead of me writing down all the scores or all the yardage, what I'm going to do is going to do the stem and leaf, okay, using the information that they give us. So, here we go. It looks like 150, 165, 148, 173, 180. So I'm going to try to look at the highest score. It looks like it's 184. You can look on page 353 with me. Or, and then also, is, what's the lowest score? Looks like 147. So, it looks like it's going to be in between 147 through something like 180s. It's in the 180s. So, 184. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is come up with a stem and leaf based on this. So, I know that it's 140 something and then 180. So, what we do is put 14, 140 what? 150 what, 160 what, 170 what, and 180 what. So this time we're using 2 because you only want the single digit, the ones digit, to be on the leaf side. Okay? So 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, which is 140 something. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look at my chart. I'm going to cross them out. Let's see. So we've got 141, 147, and 148 as one of ours. We have 150. We have 162, 165, 167, 168, 169. Then we have 170, 172, 173. There's two 173s. 174, 175, 176. Yep. Yep. And then we get 180, 181, 182, and 184. Okay, so we've come up with our stem and our leaf. So this is good. And I've already put them in order based on the order of the number, 141, 147, 148. Okay, so now here's the question. They do not want us to do the whole mean, median, mode, and all those things. They just want us to find which 10-yard stem, which means 160 to 169 or 170 to 179, which 10-yard span has the most golf balls. Well, you can clearly see that this one has the most. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 balls that were hit, where this one only has 5, 4, 3, 1. So we would say it's from the range of 170 through 179 because they're wanting a 10-yard range. So it's from 170 to 179. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, let's look at the next one that I want us to do with stem and leaf. Okay, and here's what it says. Keep paying attention because this is important. This is example 85-2. And this time they want us to find the range, median, mode, and mean. And I'm going to teach you an easy way to do it with stem without having to write everything out, doing the stem and leaf. So here we go. These are 846, 848, 848, 849. That's what that means. 852, 853, 853, 854, 860, 862, 862, 863, 865, 867. Put them in order. And then 873, 873, 876, 876. Okay, now they're wanting us to find the range. You can easily see that it's between 846 through 876. So that is a 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a 30. So the range would be 30. All right. If I'm asking you the median, okay, hopefully you remember when we're doing median, I'm going to put MED, I was teaching you the rainbow method, okay, and you can still, if you want to, if it makes you feel better, write out all your numbers and do the rainbow method, but there's actually an easier. You can go from the first to the last, which is what we were doing in the rainbow method, and then crossing those out or making a rainbow. So this is kind of like a rainbow, you see? So this, okay, the next, the next, the next, then we want to go to the next beginning and the next ending. Next, 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 next. So what does that tell us? 862 is the middle median number. 862. Now, if it happened to have another number back here, and we crossed this out, and then we were left with this, then it would be 862, because that's what's in the middle of those two. Let's say this was an 8, then we would go in between 862 and 868 and find the middle number. So you would do that by 862 plus 868, get the answer, and then divide it by 2 to find the middle number. Okay? Just wanted you to see that. All right, we'll put these back where they were. All right? And it did not have a 9. Now, I'm back to where I was. Alright, and now we want to find the mode, which means most number that was used. Do I see any 3? I don't, but I just see a lot of 2s. So this one and this one, this one and this one, this one and this one, and then both of these. So we have 848 is one of our modes. 853, 862, 873, and 876. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 modes. So the modes would be this. Okay? And then to find mean, what you're going to have to do is you actually have to write out every single one of them. Add it with a calculator. If you don't want to write it out, just bring out your calculator, put 846 plus, 848 plus, 848 plus, 849 plus, and keep going. And I don't know how many numbers this is, but however many numbers this is, let's say there's 30 of them, you would divide the sum by 30 and get your mean. So just quick review on that. Now, we're moving to the second part of the lesson, which you need to know, and this is called a histogram. Now, histograms, let me make sure it's still recording. Okay, histograms is basically a chart, a bar graph, so to speak. And so what I'm going to do is, I should have left that up there. Oh well. So basically, I'm going to show you some stem and leaf, okay? and it's using the numbers 56 and 58. I'm going to write these out real quick, okay? Then I want to show you something. 62, 65, 69, 70, 70, 74, 74, 75, 75, 80, 80, 81, 81, 82, 83, no 84s, 85, 86, 87, two of them, 88, two of them, and 89. Okay, and then lastly 90, 91, 92, 94, 295s, 296s. Okay, so it's those scores in the beginning that we had on the test, what people made from 56 all the way to 96. Okay, we're going to make a histogram is what it's called. And basically what that's going to do is turn this, if I could take this board and turn it upside down, so to speak. I don't think I can take it off now. Basically, you would see you can even turn your computer sideways if it helps. But what do you see if I were to set this up? You would see a bar graph. See how that works? Okay, that looks something like this. Okay, something like that. Once I turned this up, and so I want to show you something. Okay, just showing you what that would look like. All right, so what we're going to do is you're going to take the number of test scores, and what are the test scores in order for us to make this graph, okay? And over here, it looks like we have, they put, let's see, number of test scores, they did by twos, so 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, okay? And then we'll stop there for now, and then this would be 50, 60, 70s, 80s, 90s. Okay? So what we would do is go, there are 3, so I would go, see how this is number of tests. We have 56 and 58, which would be 2. So I would take my chart and go in the 50s, from 50 to 60, or almost 60, 59. This would be 2, and so I would fill it in. See that? From 60, 62, 65, and 69, there would be 3 of them. So from 60 to 70, or 60 to 69, would be 3 of them. So we'll go a little bit higher. Then on this one, there are 5 of them. So from 70 to 80, there would be 5, which is going to be right here. And they went on and wrote the scores like 56 and 58 in here. And you can do that if you want to, but I'm just showing it on here. And then 80, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Goes all the way up to the top. From 80 to 90. And then 90, I'm going to put 100. 90 to 99, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. Be right here. Okay? And that's called a histogram. So these are the test scores. These are the number of tests that are in each section. And so therefore you see most people made in the 80s to 90, 80 to 89 range. And this is called a histogram, just so you know. Okay? Now, on the next question, example, it asked some questions. So they may say something like, how many scores were greater than 80? And then therefore you would go, okay, I have 12 here, and I have 8 here. So 20 of them are greater than 80. Okay? Or they may say something like, what was the mode interval? And that one is, which one has the most in their scoring? And you would say from 80 until 90. So that was what, this is the interval from 80 to 90 is the interval that has the most, okay? And then, actually, let me think about that for just a second. The mode, the interval that includes the most, okay, most cars. Yeah, okay, so that's how you would do that. And then the next one is, see, what percent are less than 80? So what percent are less than 80? Then we would go, okay, this one is, the 70s were 5 of them, the 60s were 3 of them, and the 50s were 2 of them. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of them out of 20 plus 10, 30. So 10 out of 30 were less than 80. And so they want to know the percent. And so then you would just take 10 divided by 30. 10 divided by 30. And you would end up getting something like 33.3%. Okay? So this would end up being 3, 3, 3, and you'd have a line, and the decimal would be here. Okay? And because this is the decimal answer, but as a percent, you always move the decimal 2 places to the right. And so it would be 33.3%. That is less than 80. Okay? Just kind of letting you know. So that is lesson 85.